One time I got to a grain bin where there was a fan and heater mounted on a grain bin. And when the customer turned on the toggle switch, the burner lit without the fan running. What happens then is all of the wires inside get burnt. And the housing high limit trips. That's because all the safeties, other than the primary safety, were all in place yet. I would like if all of these were installed correctly. So today we're going to walk through how to install a fan and heater on a grain bin. I don't have a grain bin here in the warm in the warehouse. So the Sukup heater has transition over temp. This box right here, pretty straightforward, the directions are on it. Use a step bit, cut 1 1/16 hole in the center of that transition. Right there somewhere, cut 1 1/16 hole. Pull this cover off of here. Put that sensor sticking through the hole. Screw that fast. Then we go over here and get the temperature probe. Stretch it out. Does not have to be stretched out the whole way, but quite a bit. If you look in the top of the burner box, you're gonna see this white box here. It has a thermometer in it. This here green plate is a mounting plate. You go over here on the side of the bin to the right of the transition. So if you're looking at the fan and heater and the transition, you're going to go at least 18 inches from the transition or up to 3 foot. And you're going to drill a 3/4 inch hole in the side of the bin. You're going to screw this plate fast over that hole with this probe sticking in the side of the bin. This green plate holds the probe straight. That needs to be installed between 18 inches and 3 foot to the right of the burner. This temperature gauge, you go within 12 inches of your temperature probe and you drill a 1/2 inch hole. If you drill an exact 1/2 inch hole, this pipe thread will thread directly into that, right into the sidewall. The temperature gauge must be installed within 12 inches of the temperature probe. That plate needs to be installed to hold the temperature probe straight. Up here, we have 2 cords that come out this side of the burner. One is transition high limit. The other is burner cord, power cord. We go in the side of the burner, the fan, take this cord from the burner to the fan. In the fan box, you're gonna see heater black wire, heater black wire, heater white wire. If you have this terminal, make sure you connect it that way. That's the way it needs to be connected. Some burners don't have this transformer. So then, depending on the fan, like this one, there is no terminal for the heater. This fan has no terminal for the heater. So you're gonna connect your ground to the ground bar. You're gonna connect your black wire to T1. This says T1. Do not connect to any of the L's. Must be T1. There's this connector on the back there for connecting your wire to T1. That's where black wire connects. If this is the case, your white wire needs to be connected to a neutral from the breaker box, which a qualified electrician needs to run. So a qualified electrician needs to provide a neutral wire to the fan box if running a burner on a single phase fan. If you connect the black wire from the burner, if you connect the black wire from the burner to L1, the burner will be able to run without the fan running. And this can cause a fire and a very hazardous situation. Once you have everything installed the way it's required, mechanically and electrically, you're going to need to connect gas. If you are connecting natural gas, you're going to need 12 pounds of natural gas, 10 pounds minimum. It's rated at 12 pounds of natural gas. If you are connecting propane, you need to connect tank pressure to the burner. The burner requires tank pressure. If it's a liquid burner, it will have the vapor coil. If it is a vapor burner, it will just have your gas connection right here. Either way, it must have tank pressure. Cannot have a regulator between the propane tank and this regulator. This regulator says increase, decrease. It should say do not touch. That's factory set at 15 pounds, and that is the pressure it needs to be set at. All temperature adjustments are made in here. You have this T-handle on this mod valve. This is how you adjust the temperature. The first time you start your fan and heater, you turn the fan and heater on and you wait for 15 minutes. Let the burner run for about 15 minutes. Then you will go over here and you will check your temperature gauge that's in the side of the bin, and you will check to see what temperature your burner is running. Then you adjust the mod valve. You turn this in clockwise to make it run hotter, counterclockwise to make it run colder. Outside temperature does not affect this. Once you get it set at a temperature, every time you start it and run it, it will run that temperature. If you go to start your burner and it does not start, and you get a voltage tester and you verify that you have electric coming to your fuse and going away from your fuse, and it still does not try to burn. If it's a liquid propane, you may have a temperature sensor on your gas pipe where it comes into the box. If the coil is not adjusted right in the flame and it gets too hot, this elbow should not exceed 110 degrees. 90 degrees is perfect. If you have frost on this pipe, it's too cold and you need to adjust the vapor coil into the flame more. If this is too hot, it will trip this. Then you have to reset it. Down in there, if your burner lights and your fan is not running, it will trip that housing over temp. If your vapor coil was to get a hole in it and start putting out big flames, this switch will trip. There is a safety in here, almost identical to the safety in the bottom of the burner box. If your burner lights but burns for about a minute and shuts off, it could be the flame sensor. This burner board controls your burner. The only thing that this burner board will shut the gas off for is if it is not sensing flame. What should your gas gauge run? When you first light it and it's not warmer than 80 degrees outside, when you first turn it on, this gauge should go up to 15 pounds or close there. As it gets warm under the floor, your mod valve is going to start backing off the gas pressure, and this pressure will drop. It does not matter what this gas pressure runs, as long as your temperature is running what it's supposed to run. So this gauge is only to do troubleshooting if your temperature is not running correctly. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and hopefully we can get our fans and heaters installed so that they work properly for everybody involved and we have no fires. Thank you.